try this.
Welcome to the Charlotte Chatter Podcast with Carrie Clift and Mitch Bennett. Now here are your hosts, Carrie and Mitch.
Here we are, the 25th episode this year. Mitch, are we going to make it to 50 this year? That means 25 more.
It.
Hell no, we ain't going to do it. So
no.
25 is good in the mid-September.
We shouldn't jinx us. Yeah.
But we do have a lot coming up. So, we would like to welcome some special guests today because we are going to go over a big sale coming up in the big state of South Dakota, which they have the best governor in the United States. You lucky bums. But first off, Callie Thomas, or actually it isn't Callie Thomas anymore. It is what, Kindred? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
All right. And BJ Thomas. No, I'm just kidding. BJ Hansen.
Wow.
I like to get him wound up already, but
Hell,
welcome, guys, to the Charlie Chatter.
I've been called a lot worse. I'm here to tell you.
So we're going to have a lot of fun and go over their sale lots that's coming up here shortly. And we're going to go cow families and a whole bunch of fun stuff. But first off, Mitch, what have you been doing today?
Not much. No, actually, it's been very stressful. No, I'm at the Husker Harvest Days in Grand Island, Nebraska. I think it could be the second largest outdoor farm show in the United States. I want to say they have 320 acres here. The actual farm show displays cover almost 80 acres. It's like 6 blocks wide by maybe 10 blocks long, something in there. And then they have everything from tools to grain trailers to John Deere used to be here. They pulled out last couple of years. But cattle displays, like the Nebraska Charolais Association has their own little display area. And so we brought a couple of our little prospect calves down to display. And then there's I think there's 4 other breeders. And then like the Angus, Galvay, Red Angus, some of them other breeds are there. So it was awesome. A big day today. Today was the second day. I don't know how many thousands of people are here, but I mean, there's a bunch. They have all kinds of live demonstrations as far as like they run combines, they run windrowers, they run hay rakes, balers, and it's all live displays here. And so it's pretty neat. We had a pretty good day. Actually, the last couple of days have been pretty good for traffic. You know, this deal was really cranking here before COVID hit, and they did not cancel on the COVID year, but it was pretty bleak. And then after that, people kind of got used to staying home and not going to these types of deals. But this year, it's been good.
That's good.
So it's pretty impressive.
Curious. I'm curious, you know, when you go to a fair, you always see a hot tub display, right? And you're like, who goes to a fair to buy a hot tub? So my question to you is, did you go buy a brand new combine? You know, did you just drop $800,000 today, or are you an impulse John Deere combine buyer?
Will 800 buy one? I don't know, but no, absolutely
BJ,
not.
would 800 buy one?
Not with heads.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, they're like a lot of this stuff, like the display, like the livestock equipment, just across the way from us is a welding company, maybe out of Kansas, and they have some alleyways and tubs and stuff like that. I mean, they're like $2,000 off on their display stuff because they haul it here or have somebody haul it here, and then they don't want to haul it home. But I mean, there is every brand of livestock chute is here. There's not. I mean, at least all the major ones you can think of, anywhere from hydraulic chutes. I mean, they do a cattle working demonstration. I know that was today, and I don't know if they bring in another potload of cattle, but they run all the hydraulic chutes out there. I mean, there's like 10 or 12 of the, major ones set up in this building. And I mean, it's full on. It's pretty
That'd be
impressive.
kind of fun to watch.
So we're camping, like a couple of the vendors always kind of camp together the last few years, but we're camping out in the campgrounds. But we've encountered people from anywhere from Canada to Mexico to a lot of Kansas people come up here.
South Dakota.
I haven't seen so many, but
Yeah.
See, we got Dakota Fest here, so it's kind of the same kind of a deal.
Oh, okay.
Same
Right.
kind of setup, same kind of deal.
Ye-
So we get
yeah.
a lot of the South Dakota people do this, and then they got Big Iron in North Dakota. So
right.
we don't even get many North Dakota people to come to Dakota Fest in South Dakota.
No.
Yeah, so that's why I really don't see that many. But we'll have Iowa. I don't see too many Colorado. I mean, but yeah. So it's pretty large.
That's
I
good.
want to say, there's even actually last year we talked to a guy from Switzerland in our booth,
Really?
in the Charlotte
Wow.
booth. Yeah, quite a few people from overseas. I know there was a couple groups I seen today walking around, but I mean, there's every brand of every equipment here, pretty much except for John Deere.
They're boycotting, right?
Well, no, last year they pulled out. I mean, John Deere had a large. I mean, it was impressive the last however many years. But I think their excuse last year was they were so behind on their production that they could not justify taking equipment away from farmers that needed it, that was pre-sold, to bring here to put on display, or the couple other shows. I know Farm Progress, maybe in like Illinois or something. I believe that's the largest outdoor one. Farm Progress actually puts this one on, but I think they still go by the Husker Harvest Days name. So yeah,
Well,
but quite a few improvements in the last 10 years since Farm Progress kind of took it over. They've paved streets, put in drainage, because we are absolutely on the flattest ground on earth right here by Grand Island, west of Grand Island, Nebraska. And so if it rains an inch, it floods the whole thing. And when you got thousands of people walking around in flooded
that wouldn't be good.
gravel, we've been here when it did that. And so now they've got paved streets, they've got electrical to all the booths, they've got water, and it's
Wow.
like I said, it's just impressive. I mean, it's
Electricity in Nebraska. We're doing good. So
and sewage.
I'm proud of you. I
They
do
do
have
still.
I do have to say, I was going to give you an applaud on our last episode of what is it? The Nebraska volleyball team is bringing in 65,000 people or some damn thing. So good job.
65,000.
Yeah. So
No.
did you see that? Yeah. Google
No.
it. Look at
No.
it. Yeah.
It's more than 65.
67, 320.
90,000.
Oh, bullshit.
3. Yeah,
No.
90,000.
No.
They added seats
No.
in the stadium to make a
No.
world record.
What are these girls playing naked? There's no way that people are going there to see that many people see. I'm sorry, this ain't working.
Well, but what else does Nebraska have going? Their football team sucks.
That ain't no lie.
Go Cougs, go Cougs. And how about them Cowboys? The 40-0 nothing win over the weekend. But we need to start talking about cattle. We need to stop talking about football.
I do hope that we would have a chance to play both Washington and South Dakota football team, just to see how great you guys are. I know you're small feeder teams.
Oh.
Like
you lost the last bet with the Kentucky Derby, so I don't want you to lose again and get a little sniffly.
Bullshit! I won that one by a lot.
I'd put Jackrabbits up against your Huskers in
football. I don't know. You guys don't play anybody, so
hey, the Cougs just beat the number 16 Wisconsin. You guys are all toast.
Well, that is true. I guess they did have a little run there.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. Maybe why the Cougs would whoop our ass, but I don't know about your Jackrabbits. They're kind of still small field.
Well, I can't even believe that's a name. But what does your mascot look like? I mean, is he like white and fluffy, or what? What is it?
Looks like a jackrabbit.
Oh, he's yellow, huh?
Yeah.
Jackrabbits are yellow.
Looks like a donkey to me. Are you sure it ain't the jackass?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We need to get on to the sale. We've gone south on this. So first off, thank you for being on with us. And the sale starts 9/20/23. But Kelly, first off, can you give us some history behind how all this project got started? And I would imagine it was a 4-H project 40 years ago that gone wild, but that's just what I'm guessing. But how did your family, give us a little family history, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, I had to actually get a little history today from my parents. I made sure. But my grandpa started a lot of stuff over there. He is like pretty progressive in terms of breeding. He was one of the first guys in South Dakota to AI and do all that kind of stuff. And then the way the Charolais came about was they had their own Charolais, and my mom and dad actually were kind of they were a part of it, and then my dad was also the herdsman for the designer group.
Oh,
which some of the older people probably know about that. And
mm-hmm.
So they did that, and they took that show string all around. And then Dewey's from Kansas, Tim Dewey, ended up buying like 10 donors from the ranch and the designer group. And then actually my mom and dad moved down there, and my dad was the herdsman for Dewey Charolais for I think she said 5 years. I was actually
wow.
down there. And then
where is down there? Where is that at?
Garden City, Kansas.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, I remember that era briefly.
Yeah, so my mom and dad lived down there and worked for Dewey's, and then they dispersed their Charolais, and my mom and dad bought some of them at that time, and then they still had some back at Thomas Ranch in central South Dakota, and they ended up moving back, and I guess the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like Dorothy, but different. So
Maybe a next donor name.
Yeah, Dorothy. There you go. I want
but different.
Yeah. you make it Dorothy, then I get 10% of the proceeds. So well, that's a great story. It's fun to hear, a lot of us there. It starts with our grand folks, did with mine, and kind of fun to hear that what all, somewhere there is cattle in our genetics, right? So we just, not very many people are just starting out and doing this. It's got to be from some backgrounds. So let's go through some of these lots in the cow families. There's 70, or how many lots are offered total?
61 total.
61. Okay, so we're just going to pick through some different lots and then cover some of the dams and the females, the mothers behind this, because there's a lot of similar genetics, I guess, on the dam side. So first off is we're going to cover lot 2, which is a foreigner by Bubbles. But I got to ask, where did the name Bubbles come from? Did she stick her nose in the trough and blow bubbles? Or, there's got to be a story behind that.
You'd have to ask the Effling girls on that, because they showed her, and that's what
Oh,
they
okay. But if this is the only calf of Bubbles in the sale, correct? So,
yeah, kind of newer. She's a Dory daughter, so this is one of the first calves that we've had out of her, and it's a foreigner, so kind of a new pedigree on both sides for us. And I've liked this heifer all along. She's really stout. She's got a lot to her. We actually stopped and looked. These calves were at where we put in some embryos, and we stopped and looked at them on the way to junior nationals, and that was the first time we'd seen her, and really, really liked her then, and still really like her. She's one of the older calves on the sale, so
okay.
It's kind of hard to look at the older calves compared to the younger ones. She is further along and not as fresh and cool looking as some of them, but I think she's really nice.
Yeah. So what is the pedigree behind Foreigner? What's his genetic makeup?
He's a double vision out of Montella that we showed, and then he was purchased by Kevin Doonan, Andy Lucas, and so he actually went to Denver a couple years ago too. People might have seen him there or at Black Stock Show. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, we'd like to let everybody know, just in case they don't know who he's all about. So that is. So this would be what? Is this his first set of calves or second set?
BJ, you know more. Doonan's had a lot of them.
So that'd be second.
Yeah, this is kind of the second set. Like Kevin had some down in Texas, and there was some at Junior Nationals this year that Kevin had, and but like this would be like our first set of springborns that we're selling this year out of Florida.
Yep.
That his would have been Kevin's would have been like fall calves, maybe, I think.
Right.
If I remember right. But these February heifers are hard to find. for whatever reason. But the nice thing about buying,
they're in the May class. Come on.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about buying an older heifer, especially a purebred, is everybody runs into the problem of breeding their show heifers. You get a February heifer, you get them bred early. You're not running into April heifer issues getting them bred, and then you got a cow, and everything kind of falls into place. And yeah, like you said, they maybe don't look as cool as them little sporty ones right now, but they're in a different cycle, and people buying heifers know that. And I don't know. I always think that maybe the February division is a little easier. I don't want to say people shy away from competition, but if you want a different division to get into, February's are the way to go.
Right. I think it's a real nice division to land in. And when you land in that division with one that, just a shot more maturity. So like you can have just a little more oomph in that thing. And like junior nationals time, like them older heifers look good.
Yeah. They're 2-3 months bred, and
right.
They're looking the part. Those extra hormones kick in, and yeah. So
nope, I agree. Well, that's a good effort to look at.
Get along.
Sorry.
Good.
That would be lot 2, Foreigner by Bubbles. And the name like that, it's got to be good, right? So, so let's go on to lot 5, the March 22nd badge daughter. But there's Miss K on the dam side. How many? There's a couple of Miss K's in the sale that.
Yeah, there's a couple. 20th. There's a couple of these.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're seeing on the badge daughters out of Miss K, or Miss K in general.
So Miss has been doing really good for us. She actually is the dam of the Legacy Bowl, which we'll see some calves on here out of him, and he really did good for us. These are the first badge calves that we've had, which he's actually a badge son that we bought from LT.
Oh.
So kind of exciting to see that, something different for us to use and go. And both of these calves I think are really nice, and hopefully are based something different to look at.
Yeah. So I see, what is it? Lot 5 and lot 23 are full sibs, correct?
Correct.
So you can kind of pick whatever one you like the best. So you got an April one and a March one. So you can buy both and be in 2 different classes. So
right. Yeah. Yeah. Buy them both. I mean, them things are so just maternal and cowy and like, I mean, I don't know if anybody's, if you haven't seen Miss K, like as a mature cow, that thing is incredible. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that thing, she was such a cool, like kind of freaky show heifer. And like when she was a show heifer, I heard a lot like, yeah, I don't think that thing will make a cow. Well, I'm here to tell you what, she proved them wrong. Like,
yeah,
that thing is a cow.
Before her time is what she was, basically.
Right. Right. Yeah. She was 3 years too early.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's
there's a LT badge heifer on display here. Actually, I think she's a May of 2022 heifer, and she is. I like the looks of that thing. So, be interesting to see what this one turns out like.
Mitch, weren't there those LT badge heifers pinned right next to us in Denver this year?
Were those badges? I didn't.
Those 3?
Yeah, I think a couple of them were, and yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 of one and 1 or something or another.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they look really good, really consistent, and a lot of depth of body in there, and had some decent front ends, and looked like
those were middle of the road type of cattle with enough look to compete and definitely enough to produce. So,
yep. Cool. That's lot 5 and a full sib as lot 23. So look them up on the internet, Thomas Ranch, and or give Callie a call about them too. So on to lot
Steer Better, correct? It's on Steer Better. The lots are posted, but it is a phone bid off.
It's a phone off, but one easy place if you want to go find pedigree, video, pictures, all that is Steer Better.
Yep. Perfect. And we probably should explain, should have done that at the beginning, but we got sidetracked with football and all that fun stuff. But so how does your bidding process work? Let's go over that. So people And I apologize for not covering that before we got onto the first lot. But so how does it all work?
So it used to be just fun. Those of you guys that have done it before know how fun it is and how long it can drag out. But
10 days.
yeah, plan on 10 days before it closes. We did add steer bidder. It just gave us an avenue for, like I said, all the pictures, videos, everything's in one place for everyone. And you can bid on there, which is nice because you can go on and just bid. You don't have to call or text us. Some people like that. And you can see where the bids are. So the bidding's not open yet, but we're going to open it probably on Friday because we get a ton of traffic through the pasture this weekend and people wanting to know where the bids are. So you'll either be able to go on there and bid, or like if you guys want to text me, my dad, or Jim, you can, and then we'll just go on there and put the bid in so that steer bidder stays up to date. So if you see like one number that's bidding a lot, that's because people are me.
Yep.
And we're just going on and putting them in. So then that will turn off on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday, we'll just start the first round of phone calls, and it starts with whatever lot is the highest at that time. And we'll call back whoever bid 2,000 and see if they want to be 5,000, and they can either get back in on her or switch to the next one, roll around. We're really easy to work with, flexible. And I know we get a lot of questions. Why do you do it this way? It drags it out so long, but it really helps a lot of our families and a lot of people who come. A lot of times they pick out the high seller and then maybe they can't afford that one or it gets out of their budget. And this gives them some time to go back and talk with their family or talk with us, and they can kind of tell us what they want, what they need, and we can kind of help direct them, and they have some time with their family to figure out what way they want to go, rather than just, you have 2 minutes to bid and you got out on the one that you don't want. And a lot of times we just felt like people ended up buying one that wasn't what they wanted or needed when you have that online type setting. And especially when there's 60 some lots, this just gives you a little bit more time to think about it and do what's best for what you guys are wanting to do.
Yep. Well, fair enough. That's a very good explanation. And I wish we would have covered that before the first one, but anyway, this will work. So
it's covered.
It's covered. So thank you very much. That explains it very well. So let's go on to lot 7. Lucky number 7 is a January 25th heifer carbon copy by Dory, and Dory has a couple other lots offered in the sale. So how about we talk about Dory and this calf and what she's doing?
Yeah, this is a really cowy one. If you want to go that direction, she's really stout. She's got a ton of body. Dory's done a really good job at that. And you could see with the number 2, Bubbles is her daughter, and she's doing the same thing. So if you want some cattle that have some extra mass and dimension to them, I think any of those are a good way to go.
Yep. And there's a full sib in lot 12. It was an April 3rd heifer, it looks like, correct?
Right. Yep.
And I don't know if I'm missing any others here, but looks like there's.
Yep. That'd be the pair of Dories.
Okay. So there's a pair of Dories in there, full sibs. So yeah, you can be in 2 way different classes here with a January and an April. So.
Right. And have some cow power when you're done.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. This is kind of more of the type of Charolais heifers I see quite a bit of in Nebraska. A couple of them on display here look real similar to her, and then there's actually that badge heifer that's on display here is a Dory as well, and then there's a Dory out of Resource, and they're kind of impressive. I was the breeder that brought him. I was impressed with them because normally he likes them a little more production wise, I guess we'll just say. And they were pretty nice. So he bought some nice calves for his kids. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, obviously she's producing, so that's a good thing. Yeah. So speaking of production, let's go on to lot number 20, which is April 18th, Outsider by Berkeley. And there is lot 1, lot 3, lot 9, lot 11, lot 13, lot 15, 17, 20, 25, 26, and 28 Berkeley. So there's a lot of Berkeleys.
Right.
So
12 Berkeleys with 6 different sire options.
wow. So I'm going to let you tell a story because I do have a personal story on that cow family, but I'm going to let you guys go first and just tell me. Let's let the audience know what the power of this female is.
Go ahead, BJ.
Well, I honestly, I can't say that I've ever been involved in an animal that has been more consistent and like hardly more successful than what Berkeley has. Like, I didn't know if we'd ever top Sally, and we'll get to her in a bit, but Berkeley's right with her. And, like junior nationals in Nebraska, like that heifer that was reserved there was an embryo purchase. That was an outsider Berkeley. And, then we get into like some of these and like we get into outlier, like she is not just doing it on the female side of things. Like, I mean, she's putting out herd bulls too that are kind of going out and doing their thing. And I'm a little bit partial, but like I flat love that cow. Like,
well, there's a lot to be said for that. If you like one,
like, I mean, that one gets me excited. Like, yeah.
So what are you seeing, Callie, on the different sire groups on these? I mean, are they all still pretty consistent, even though they're out of different sires, or what are you seeing on your end?
Yeah, I'd say they're pretty consistent. I mean, obviously the outsider sire group is really good, really consistent. That's why those embryos sell for what they do, and everyone wants that mating. Whole group's really good. The legacies we're really excited about. I think they look good. Miss K and Berkeley together, and then you throw in Carbon Copy and Carbine and all that. That's, I don't know, 3 really good cows that are really different, in my opinion. Yeah. All 3 cows are about as different as you could make them. So I'm excited about those. And then some differences too, like the Rhinestone heifer is really good, but she's probably later maturing. Like the Rhinestones can be. The Wrangle Up heifer, I think, has a ton of future to her. And then you've even got the Linebacker, which then you throw Sally in there. And though we've sold those before, and those are really good cattle. And then there's some Deliverances too. So then you throw in Wiley. I mean, I guess I like all those heifers, and there's some differences, but I think they're all pretty consistently good. Like BJ said, she just did a good job like she does.
Yeah.
And, and I mean, we could go into that just a shot further, like lot 16 in the sale. Like, we don't have her pictured, but like that's a Rhinestone out of a Linebacker Berkeley first calf heifer. And like, I think that one's really, really nice. So, I mean, it just goes to show you, like, these Berkeleys aren't going to be, we got into this on the last episode, the Q&A deal that I was in on, but like these things aren't just show heifers. Like, I mean, these things will go show, but like they're going to be production oriented cows that are going to go do something for you when you're done too.
Yep. I'll have a story to tell about that. Before you Linebacker, let's talk about Linebacker. What's his genetic makeup? Just so people know.
So I should call him Linebacker because I've already had people question me.
Right.
His name is TR, probably Mr. Diablo 2742. But he's a Diablo out of Sally that we sold on Black Hill Stock Show that Kistner and Rickabaugh bought. And he's been showing up more and more lately. So you might have seen him on Boyert's sale, or some people like that have been using him, and he does a good job.
Yeah. Okay. That helps that. How about Legacy, his genetic background?
He's a Carbon Copy Miss K. He won Kansas City last year. He was high seller on our bull sale. Really stout, really powerful. Got a lot of look to him. Perfect.
So to go with the Berkeley deal, so BJ talked my daughter into a heifer here a couple of years ago. So I'm like, okay, BJ, but it was a good deal. So, and she was a Deliverance by Berkeley, which there is full sibs as lot 26. I see, and there might 15. Be another one. 15. Okay.
Yep.
So we flushed her as a yearling. She was might not even, she was actually 11 months and produced 18 eggs on the first one. And we put in 10 of them and got 9 of them. Yes, we did, people. I got 9 of them and I can prove it. So out of the 10. But I got to tell you, and they got, so there's redemptions and carbon copies. And the majority of them are females. And this is one of those things because you have this mindset of show cattle versus production cattle, right? And we've talked about this quite a bit. But I got to tell you, I've got some other cheetah calves right next to them. And these calves are outperforming the cheetah calves, which is more production with big numbers, TSI stuff. And right. Cheetah's a resource out of a ledger daughter. And back to the Baldridge 7M. So not only do they have the look, but they do have some production and they got the hair and all that fun stuff. But I never expected the production out of these that they're doing and the gainability. It's amazing. So we will have a bunch of them at the Nile here next month, but I can tell firsthand that Deliverance by Berkeley, that there's something in there that's you outcross them a little bit and they really punch. So those right. Redemption of those are amazing. So
well, and that's the thing, like if you've never been to the Thomas Ranch, I encourage you to try to get here and look at these things. Like it's not just like flat rolling, like beautiful, pretty country with knee deep lush grass. Like,
yeah.
These things got to go work. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's cow country, and these things they got to go out and make a living. So, we try to make them cool looking, and we try to keep show heifers, but there's 28 of these heifers on the sale. Well, between me and Callie, like we produced a heck of a lot more than 28 heifers. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
The flush mates, some of these things have got to come make cows when we're done, and like, that's how we use them. So
yeah. Well, obviously, Berkeley, her flush sold for what was it, 30,000 in Denver last year, if I remember, somewhere in there, right? So,
right.
My daughter had me bid at one point, and my wife didn't know that was going on, and it was 20-some thousand, and I told Bridget, I was like, oh, it's 2,000, so, but anyway, we got past that mark. But I mean, there's a lot of Will Blankers has seen how she's done. He's got a lot of the Berkeley's in there. So obviously they're working for people. So cannot say enough to that cow family.
Yeah. Like Will and those guys have got them in production, just like you're saying, and they're really happy. So that's probably worth as much as anything.
It is. Yeah. So look up all those lots, which I'm not going to rattle off them, all of them again. BJ, what'd you say? There's 12 of them?
12 Berkeleys with 6 different sire options.
Yep. There you go. Look them up. So they've all got different birth dates and different sires that you can play with. So anyway, we're going to go on to lot 24, which is April 15th outlier by Sally. So there's a whole bunch of Sallys in here too. So, and Sally has a big story. So I know, was there 6 of those roughly?
5 purebreds.
5 purebreds. Okay. And then we got some crossbreds. So
right.
Let's talk about this heifer and then all the other sire groups out of Sally and her history.
Like this 24, like this outlier deal gets me a little bit excited. This is first time we did Sally to outlier. So this will be the first time we've had them. The outsiders have been good that we've had out of her. I mean, they've kind of proven themselves. I mean, Hoffman showed that one last year and had just a pile of success all year long. But like the outlier deal, like it's kind of like the linebacker Berkeley thing. Like we're blending that Sally and the Berkeley deal together a little bit. And to me, that blend of that cow power in that deal, like I think it's going to be really, really fun once these things get into production. Like I'd say get in early because I think we might really have a ticket here. Like it's one of them deals like, yep, there hasn't been any yet, but I remember the very first Firewater 0641 that sold, and she sold for $3,500. Like this might be your chance to get in on ground floor because I think once these things grow up, like they're going to be worth a lot more next year.
Oh yeah. How old is Sally now?
14.
Oh, and she's still alive and kicking.
Like, still looks great.
Wow.
Like, that's a nice cow. And yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that. At 14 years old. So that is, so all those lot numbers, there's, and alive. If I had better glasses, I could tell you, but I can see a lot.
Yep.
A lot 10 and a 19.
4, 10.
Yep.
19, 21, 24. Those would be the purebreds.
Perfect. And there is some club calves out of her. What are they? Heifers or steers?
Yeah, okay. There's a couple composite heifers out of Sally. In God we trust, and then there's a steer too. And
perfect. So she can work in all different directions, not just the purebred world. So
that's kind of the fun thing about her. Like, them things have got just enough punch and just enough bone, like Sally does, that she kind of makes them both ways, and them daughters will kind of do that too. When you put them into production and make donors out of them, like, you can make purebreds and you can make steers, and got a lot of different options.
Perfect.
I will say the Sally group probably didn't picture in video as good as some of the other ones. Some people probably wonder what we got going on with all of our birth dates and all that. We got all the Sally's came operator, and it's a little bit more ranchy.
No.
They weren't as ready for picture and video day. So I take what you could get on them. They'll be really tame. Everything on here will be really tame by the time all the traffic goes through. But those cows are they're not used to people.
Yeah.
Have their cows with them and stuff. So all the Sallys, I'm pretty sure, came from that place. And then some, we've got embryos put in days, different cooperators, our house, natural calves. So it does make it nice for spreading out birth dates and stuff. But when we go to gather things up, we definitely got a lot of places to gather them up from.
Right. Oh, that actually answers a good question. Yeah.
I mean, that's that's how we can kind of get these different birth groups. It's like, we've got, I try to put Marches and some late Februaries in at my house, and we've got a guy that calves a few early, and then say these younger ones, like that Ranchy guy, I'll do a couple groups. And yeah, I mean, it's them cows are a little ranchy, but they settle in.
Yep. Well, they'll calm down at some point. Ace works well. So
yeah, the calves are okay. Like, I mean,
good. Yeah.
I mean, that's the nice thing about the pasture sale is, they're still out on grass, but I mean, we're riding through them things on a 4-wheeler 2-3 times a day. And then you start getting the traffic in there, and there's days that them things don't get to lay down and rest till dark.
Oh, wow.
And so, I mean, them cattle stay up and they're moving, and they get used to people being around them. And like the ones that are born at my place, like my kids are in the barn with me. So, I mean, them cattle, they see things, and there's kids that come to the pasture, and, so they know what things are.
Yep. Oh, that's perfect. All right. Well, look the Sally's up on that big day on the 20th. So we kind of talked about the next two lots, 26 and 28. They're both Berkeley's, but we'll do a couple flashes here, Mitch. There is lot 26, who's a deliverance by Berkeley. That'd be the full sip to the heifer that we have, Berkeley Marie. But and then go to the next one, Mitch. Lot 28 is a Legacy by Berkeley, which we kind of visit about her also. So
and that Legacy deal, it kind of blends your Miss K and in the Berkeley deal, and it's kind of a fun blend. Like to, them power cow families that we got here. It's fun to kind of blend them together and watch what's going to happen.
Should mention on this lot 28, it is a May 3rd calf. So for those people who are going to watch it on YouTube, you can see the size difference, but very nice deep bodied May calf right here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, she's a little more immature than them others, but like she should be, right? Like, I mean, that thing's supposed to be a little immature. She's not supposed to be a May with a big head. So
yep.
That's a whole new episode.
No, we touch on that all the time.
Oh yeah. That's actually kind of a fun topic. So it gets people wound up a little bit.
It's neat to educate people that when the head size is at least half the size of their body, They're not the right age.
Or
But
they're
some people don't know yet.
or they're a Mayborn and the tail's hitting the ground, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
there's something wrong with that picture. All right, let's go on. We're shifting colors. So that is the Charlotte offering there. So excellent offering of heifers. So we're gonna shift to lot 33. And I'll have to admit, I know nothing about Grand Angus. So you're gonna help me out here. But 33 is a April heifer out of Power Eye, looks like, and a DO 31 cow. So let's talk about this heifer, lot 33.
She's actually by a Power Eye son that we had that was a high seller on our bull sale. And then that DO 31 cow was shown by Kip Wallace and won a bunch of stuff. She's a moderate framed, huge bodied, just really impressive cow. She's actually out in the pasture if you want to see her. And this is probably one of the best Red Angus heifers we've had on the sale and probably ever. So
right. That one's, she's pretty nice. And I mean, it's
worth going to look at.
right. In the whole group of reds, I think that's a really nice set of Red Angus heifers. And I think the best set that's been on that pasture in a few years, but
yeah,
I think this one's pretty special.
Yeah, she's got the look. Heck, you should just register as Red Charlet and then started a whole nother wave. So. Did I say that out loud? I shouldn't have said that. Lord, I apologize. But yeah, this is a very good Red Angus heifer. Has lot 33. But
Power Eye, that bull, when he kind of hit I do know a little bit of Red Angus. When he hit the scene, he kind of added a little softness and stoutness to the Red Angus breed that was much needed, and I could see a combination of him and the I don't want to say old fashioner, but the streamline Red Angus and her. I showed this picture to Devin earlier today, and he goes, "Holy crap!" So he likes them heifers that are kind of chiseled out with a little bit of belly like this one. So
and
they're harder to build.
And I'm gonna say, this is probably me gonna step on some Red Angus toes, but this one's not the typical Red Angus. Like, this thing's kind of got, she's actually got some muscle and performance to her. I mean, this thing isn't just narrow pin assed. Like,
yeah, that's the Power Eye. They're stout and soggy, and they're kind of, a lot of people could have used them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a complete package right there in my eye. And she's red. So let's go for it. You can cross her on them Charlets and make some butterscotch.
Right.
That'd be kind of fun.
She'd make nice ones.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to switch another breed. How about we go to lot 40 and look at this little Hereford heifer, this April born 17th heifer out of American Classic. So, every good Hereford has a good story. So go ahead. So let's hear about this one. Lot 40.
Oh, I have dabbled lightly in the Herefords, only when it involves athlines. So, her mother, we actually partnered on and bought her as a calf so Chesney could show her. She ended up going and serve in Denver as a calf, which in the Hereford deal is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
We decided to sell half interest of her on Fawcett's sale then. She originated from Fawcett's. So we sold half interest on their sale. That was that spring. And then she went on and Chesney got to keep showing her and was super successful. I think she was supreme at State Fair and Spotlight winning, and she's had some really nice calves. Chesney's gotten to show some and be really successful with them. Dave Allen's son showed one and was real successful. And everyone keeps asking me what's the best one of these three. And I don't know. Everyone who's came, there's three and they've all been chosen as the best. So
yeah,
you have to come and look at them for yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there's a good genetic background in those. And they're April and there's a Mayborn one also, all full sibs. Lot 40, 41, and 42.
The 42, she wasn't as impressive early on, and now she's kind of just catching up and doing everything right. And So I don't know, just throwing another wrench in the question of which one's the best one.
Yep. Yeah. Well, there's a good selection. You be the judge and feed them up and make it happen.
It's a debate on which one's the best one. I know my pick, but I think Callie's got a pick, and yeah, it's just, them things are good. Like I'm not a Hereford guy, like at all. Like I'm just really not. But,
Wow, wait.
I'm not going to beat around the bush. Like it is. I'm not a big Hereford fan, but like, if I was wanting to try to really run at that Hereford deal, like I'm buying one of them three because I think they're good.
Here's the deal, BJ. Since you already alluded to maybe not making the 15, 16-hour trip to Texas, the Herefords are in Nebraska next year. In your favorite place in Grand Island, Nebraska. So, what is your bidder's number?
I see. We've talked about this at home, and I think the game plan for us next year is to show a few early pigs, and we're going to try to go to World Pork Expo again in Des Moines. So,
there you go.
What about?
Well, BJ, we could throw another wrench in there. Mitch might be the judge.
Yeah,
I doubt that. Well, no.
How did that judge's rating thing go again?
His last,
yeah. Oh, I would totally be a 2 at best, and I would. There would be a lot of people get run over by my bus.
Well, BJ, I'm willing to be bought off, so you could score me a 5 and just make sure cash is flowing. So it's pretty easy. So
cash is flowing. I think you're going to make enough money on that Deliverance Berkeley.
Things hopefully will be good. Yeah,
you're going to owe us commission.
Yeah, there could be that. There could be that.
No chickens.
Well, that's the thing. Poultry Junior Nationals is in Norman, Oklahoma, in December.
Oh, I love it, Mitch. You're speechless.
You and your chicken wings.
I didn't say nothing.
My computer's wanting to spin on 44, so I'm not.
I'm sure it is.
Try to. Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit. On to lot 44.
All right. Let's see if I can get her up here.
If that one don't load, we can jump ahead and try to come back to her.
Oh yeah, let's try 52. See if that one will come up.
Okay.
See if that one.
Yep, 52 came up.
52.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't know what 44 is going on there, but 52. All right, here
52.
we go.
There we go.
Woo, that one's got a little belly hair.
That's
a wiener slinger down there.
It is.
Oh,
it is.
Used to be.
It is a trust to me by the rhinestone. What's the story on this bad boy?
Steer.
Lot 52. Steer.
He's out of a full carbon copy. We got a couple white steers on there that could go to junior nationals or show in the Charolais division, and I think both of them are really nice. The other one's out of Sally, so whichever way you want to go there, you got Cow Power.
Yep,
I think they're both really nice.
Looks like he's got a big old jack front end on that by the picture here. Looks like he's gonna be really sleek through that front end, big bellied and good hip.
Yeah, them things are like, they're long enough necked, and they both kind of got, like a fat steer kind of like head. Like they're stout enough skull, but, big hipped and kind of got fuzzy ears. Like them things will hair up and be pretty nice. I mean, it was, what was it, Callie? Like 104 when you guys were trying to picture these things. So, I mean, since these pictures have been taken, like these cattle have haired up a bunch. Like we finally cooled off here now, and so, I mean, these things have changed a lot, and they've haired up, and this one's really haired up. Like I was out to the ranch on Monday, and like that pair of white steers that's a pair of pretty nice breed steers.
Awesome. Well, look them up. That is lot 52. And what's the other lot number?
60 would be the other steer.
60.
Yeah, 59 is the other Charolais steer. That'd be the Sally.
Okay. So we'll go on at
let's hit 60 and then 60? We'll see if we can pull 44 up. Yep.
Okay. lot 60 is all chromed up. Look at all the look at all the colors that he's got. So he's black and white chromed up feet, and he's got 4 white socks. So that'll bring 25,000 in minimum in the American AQHA world. So
right. So yeah, lot 60 he's a tricked out of a man amongst boys cow. And I mean, if you want them things chunky and stout and like just looking like a fat steer at 500 pounds, like that thing looks like a fat steer at 500 pounds. Like that thing has got fat steer, show steer written all over him.
Good deal.
Big legged, sound. I mean, that's a nice steer.
So he'd be a good target for August, September type shows based on
that's I think that thing makes like a that late summer state fair.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. I mean, and that thing would feed right into Exarban too.
Perfect.
I was just going to comment the reserve overall steer at the Nebraska State Fair in the FFA division he didn't quite have that much white on him, but he was a white socked or steer and looked super similar to that one. The Alfs family from Nebraska showed him. I think they were kind of hoping the judge did not pick him for reserve and picked their reserve heavyweight steer for reserve because he had to stay in Grand Island, Nebraska, and get slaughtered instead of going to Exarban. So
right, they were probably hoping that lightweight steer would make Exarban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were hoping he was going to go on, and then their reserve heavyweight ended up getting third overall, which is probably still going to be an Exarban, but that White Sox steer had some more gas in his tank, and this one kind of reminds me of him quite a bit. So, be interesting to see.
If you go on Facebook, there's more really good pictures of him. And I do like on Steer Bidder and our website and stuff. You can only put so many pictures on there, but on Facebook, I do try to put as many as possible so that if you can't make it up or whatever, you can get on there and look at all of them. And Morgan Meisenheimer did our pictures, and I'd say she's the queen of pasture sale pictures because she does a really awesome job. And so if you go on Facebook, you can see lots of different pasture sale pictures with, cows in the background, maybe their moms or different angles, and get a better idea what they look like.
Yeah. She must have an amazing amount of patience to be able to do that in a pasture. I'd go nuts, but that is awesome. Great job on the pictures.
Yeah, she does an awesome job.
For our listeners, where are they looking on Facebook? What is the name of the Facebook page? Because I know there's several of close names out there, but
it's Thomas Ranch. Right now, the profile picture is a white cow and calf pair. So
perfect.
Yep.
All righty, Mitch, can you pull up lot 44 now?
I'm gonna try it, but if not, I'm gonna. Nope, it's spinning. That's right. Go ahead and talk about it, and I'll see if I can get the.
There's lot 44 in the bottom right corner. So that's BJ. I don't think he'd get a bid. BJ, I don't think you'd have to pay somebody to take you.
Well, hey, if you want one with some growth and big belly, that's me.
Easy doer.
Yeah. Amen. So lot 44 is In God We Trust by Sally. So here's a Sally little clubby.
Right.
So
right. And there's a pair of them on the sale. A couple different ages. I mean, them things there's a lot of similarities in them things, but I think the 45 could kind of go either way if you wanted to show a market heifer or a composite, and the 44, I mean, that thing's really cool necked and big bodied and sound and hairy. And I mean, like, I think that one is cool. I mean, a little greener, but boy, I mean, I think that's a pretty powerful pair of composite heifers, and that division's fun, like, right? Like, and they're still white. So yeah, I feel a little better about it. And,
no, that's great. You got the power of Sally in the background. So
right. I mean, that's been quite a few years ago. I mean, that was the first calf crop out of Sally, but I mean, we had a monopoly composite heifer out of Sally that was supreme at Ohio State Fair. That very first IBF calf crop or flush crop out of Sally, a lot of years ago. Yeah. I mean, the composite wins Ohio State Fair. So, I mean, them things have been around for a long time, but they still really haven't gone out of style.
Yep.
Them cattle are, and say good functional ones never really do. So.
Yep. Well, that's perfect. That's a really good snapshot of all the lots being offered. It'll start in your Pasture sale on the 20th. And again, you can go steer bidder, correct, and bid online, and or call you, Kelly, and or Dad and another dude. What was his name?
Jim Hill.
Jim.
Yeah.
And
if you got my number, you can call me too. And
Yeah.
Yep.
we can kind of steer things the right direction. And
just make sure that you have a bid in by Wednesday night at 10. And then
Perfect.
everybody that bid will get a call on Thursday. If you bid and you don't get called on Thursday, get a hold of us because we don't have to bid.
Yep. Fair enough. So it'll be fun to do a wrap up on the sales, and when it's all said and done, and see which cow family outsold who. So I got dibs on the Berkeleys. So on as high sellers, even though there's 12 of them, but excellent offering. And these cattle ready to grow. They grew up on some good hard grass in South Dakota, and I'm sure they had a really nice mild winter to go through this.
right.
You guys, was it April when you guys got all that snow and
hey, breaking news.
Yes.
There's 44.
Got her.
44.
Yeah.
Good job, Mitch. Yeah.
The resolution was a little too high for our redneck ingenuity here, but I tamed her down and got her on here.
You did such a good job. I can see my house in the horizon. I'm just to the west there. So good job.
Well, I didn't take the picture. I just dumbed down the resolution on my little camera program here.
Yep.
Yep.
We got her on the fly.
No, so I mean I think that one's real good, but biggest thing, like if you can't get here, like go online, look at these things, look at videos. Don't be afraid to call and ask questions. I mean, ideally, like we want you to get the right calf that fits you and your program. Like that's really kind of what this whole deal's about is trying to help families be successful in what they want to do. And there's a lot of different types and kinds on here that can do a lot of different things. And, so call and tell us kind of what your goals are and we can try to help steer you in the right direction because, we want everybody to be as successful as they can on this deal. And so, don't be shy. Like,
I agree. Don't be a jackrabbit. So,
yeah.
I'm sorry, BJ.
One last punch.
Go Cowboys.
Yep. Good thing we're almost done.
Yep. Well, thank you very much for being on our Charlotte Chatter episode. And if you need questions, so feel free to give you guys a call. And this will be uploaded in a couple days. So with that, have a good one and stay out of trouble and watch the Cowboys beat the Jets this weekend. See you next trip.
You bet. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Good boys act like bad boys. Don't take offense. Deep down, we're all little boys. It's just part of our DNA. A 7-day road trip, hanging out with friends, nothing but fun adventures and drinking. Come on, y'all, make a little